All right, we are live on YouTube.
Awesome.
I'm here with Dave from Fantasy Fitnessing. Man, I loved what you guys did with yesterday, where you had the people just outside the top 10, or not top 10, but outside the cut line.
The cut lines, yeah.
Yeah, that was really cool. You gonna do something for day 2? And
Yeah, I think it'll be something we put together tonight once we have a chance to digest the leaderboard. It's definitely a few surprises yesterday, on top of the big one with Bethany Shadburn. But a few of the big names that we expected to advance were on the outside looking in. So I was just scrolling the leaderboard to see how they did today.
yeah, I'm looking at the men's leaderboard right now. Justin Medeiros has jumped into first place. Big shocker there. With Jeffrey Adler moving up into second. My pick to win the Open now kind of coming to light here in the quarterfinals. We still have 3 Panchek brothers in the top 10.
With Scott maintaining 4th place.
Yeah. Phil Toon made a big jump. Griffin Roll made a big jump. That was kind of
made a big jump.
Yeah. Brent Fikowski's at 28th. He was in the 60s yesterday, right?
Yeah, he was down there. Ben Smith also, he was hanging out with Fikowski. I think they're there.
Yeah, Tim Paulson made a nice jump. Yeah, I haven't gone down to the cut line yet to see kind of where we are there. I'm looking.
Oh, Alex Vigneault made another big jump. Yeah, I don't know if he got penalized yesterday because he was 443rd in event 1. So to see him, his other 3 events are top 50. So I wonder if he got penalized there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything that jumps out to me right away at the cut line. That may take a little more research, but I did notice the leaderboard shuffled a little bit overnight. So I think there were some penalties assessed.
Yeah, it looks like at least the top ones that they were scrolling through, like there wasn't a lot of movement out of the top 10, but definitely some shifts. So that's nice to see that they're pushing through the changes as quick as they can. And it's not, I don't know, it'd be frustrating as an athlete to have this kind of lingering over, and 2 days later you find out your squat depth wasn't good enough or something like that.
Right. So I flipped over to the women's leaderboard. You mentioned Bethany Shadburn. I'm trying to get confirmation on what has happened there. I've heard rumor, but I don't want to report on rumors. Yeah. So I will leave it at that. I am trying to get firm confirmation as to what happened there. So we can report that this week. But there were some big jumpers on the women's side. Amanda Barnhart took a huge leap into the top 5.
Yeah, no, she was 9th in the total. So that would definitely help.
And 22nd in workout 3.
Yeah. So
her 2 best finishes. Well, no, she was 15th in the first one. Olivia Kerstetter, 15, 16 years old now, is in 9th place. That is insane. I did notice that Sydney Wells made a jump into the above the cut line.
That's good for her.
Because I know you guys had her outside looking in. Danny Spiegel made a jump, which we expected with the lifts.
Yeah, that was the one that stuck out yesterday.
Yeah, she's in. Danny Spiegel's in 37th. I want to say Sydney is in the top 100 now.
Yeah, I think she was like 65th or so, kind of in that ballpark as I scrolled by.
Yeah, 65th, one spot ahead of 112-year-old Rebecca Voigt Miller.
Yeah. Yeah.
How does that woman just keep on plugging along? She is awesome. I love to see that. It's cool to see another Masters athlete, call it Casey. She was a guest on our show. She was the Wadapalooza 35 to 39 champion. She is in 70th, 71st.
Yeah, nice. It's a fun format to give everybody a chance to compete with, some more aggressive programming in terms of the competition.
Yeah, Jen Ryan is another Masters athlete in 73rd. Haley Murillo. Yeah.
Brenda Castro is 86th. Although she has not reached Masters category yet. I don't know, just scrolling through the women today, at least the men, it looks like the field leveled out a bit with the more of the elite athletes kind of coming up the leaderboard versus yesterday. Yesterday there was still a lot of big names scattered throughout, where it seems today everybody's closer to the top.
Yeah, I was really excited to see my girl still in the top 10, Christy O'Connell.
Right.
I was worried about the lifts with her, but it looks like she did enough damage control.
Yeah, well, 93rd, I don't know. We were looking at some of the event day looking for this, and she does well on the strength events. Like you looked at, I think it was like 21.4 last year with the complex, and she still held her own compared to, where you would expect her to be, just kind of when you see her run in those types of events. Like she was still, hanging out with some of the lifters there.
Yeah, it's where she falls back is the 1 rep max. Like the complexes and stuff that take a little more cardio with the lift, she's okay. But really happy with the wall ball workout for a shorter athlete to come in 11th.
Yeah, that was a long one too, 15 minutes.
Yeah, she's a great rope climb athlete. So, and shuttle running. I mean, she's a runner.
Yeah. Emma Lawson's still holding her own there too in 5th. Just amazing to be a teen athlete competing at this level.
I have to say, I think the most surprising thing is seeing Brooke Wells in 7th.
Yes.
Her elbow holding up on the muscle ups and the max lifts and for her to still be sitting in 7th is really impressive, because those two events would have really taxed that repaired elbow. Yeah,
and just kind of confidence kind of going in and going out to have, I don't know how much concern there is from a mental standpoint doing those types of activities for the first time coming back, to have to, do it under stress and intensity. I don't know. I'm sure they've worked to build her up to that point, but still to have to do a ring muscle up in a lot of them after, being off for, I guess, 8 months at this point, 6, 7 months. Yeah.
Yeah. And she wasn't even back with Proven. She was just doing solely rehab before Wadapalooza. I talked to her coach at Wadapalooza, and she had just gotten back to Nashville to work with them. So she's only a couple months into actually CrossFit training.
That'll be great for her to see her to come through, where she was in the Open, where she's stacking up so far at this point. And she was 5th in the Open. Hopefully she's able to get back to where we saw her at the games last year and trending towards that.
You cut out on me there. We lost connection for a minute.
I was just saying, like Brooke Wells to go 5th in the Open, sitting 7th so far after 4 events in the quarterfinals. Looking forward to see her at semifinals and games. I think just she was having such a great performance last year in Madison, to see that cut short. So, fortunately, she seems to be back on track to pick up where she left off.
Yeah, and Well, one last one on the North American board is Annika Greer. She's been a friend of the show for a long time. Love seeing her up there in 16th. It looked like she struggled a little bit with that wall ball workout.
Yeah, but like everything else is top 50. Do you know how long she was in Vegas before the Open?
Like a week.
Okay, that's what I thought. So again, kind of like Saxon, like still the environment hasn't necessarily paid off yet. And
So what I need to confirm with her, one, because she told me that she was not leaving her coach,
okay,
but that they were going to go around and train with people. So I don't know what the underdogs thing is. I need to confirm. Now underdogs is using her in their posts. Do you have more information on that?
no, I don't. I don't know if like they'll, just have an underdogs north potentially with, having her coach be a part of the team. Maybe I don't know. Because yeah, she was definitely all over the underdog social media posts over the last few days.
Yeah. And I know like she did a week in Naples after Wadapalooza. And I knew she was planning on doing a week in Vegas. So yeah, we'll have to see. We'll have to see what that
Yeah,
turns out to be.
because where was she? She was on Coffee Pods and Wads recently as well. I know I'd have to double check, but it seemed like it sounded like it was going to be more permanent um, down in Vegas than just a week in, week out type of thing. So
Okay. Well, we are like I could ask her this afternoon
yeah,
probably. So we'll find out there. I just flipped over to Europe. Gabby Magala made a big jump. She's in first place now. But Sarah is still in sixth. So it goes to Magala, Emma McQuaid, Jacqueline Dahlstrom, Emma Tall, Lucy Campbell, Sarah Sigmund's daughter, and then Matilda Garns. And Katrin looks like she made a big jump. She's 29th now.
yeah, that's good for Katrin to see her make a move. I was a little concerned with it, how she was sitting in mid 40s after yesterday. Although she struggled with event 3 too, with 150 seconds. So
And Laura Horvath moved to 11th. She was down in the 30s. She ended up winning the lifting event. 750 pounds.
that's good for her.
Trying to see if I wanted to see where Sam Briggs was.
59th. So she is just on the cut line there. I don't know, the total probably did not help her. No, she was 326. So
Yeah.
hopefully, but I guess I don't know if the snatch was at 135 for event 5.
Yep.
But between the rowing and the burpee box jumps, like those should be
Actually,
in
what I'm
her wheelhouse.
surprised is I'm surprised she didn't do better in event 3. Wall balls and rope climbs is kind of her gig.
Yeah. Yes. Although we quite often forget that she is 40 at this point.
All right. So on the men's side, BKG is now in first. Lazar Jukic is in second. Willie Georges jumped up to third. Yonakoski in fourth. He was outside looking in, wasn't he? I thought you had, I saw him on your list.
I don't think Koski was, because he was 5th and 14th yesterday.
Okay.
Who I think was it Zach George?
Yeah, Zach George, and then
Luca. He was,
Luka Jukic is now in 30th. I have not seen Zach George. Was it Lucas Hogberg that was out, or was it?
yeah, Hoberg was, 400th and something yesterday. So yeah, we were interesting to see how he did this year, because he also missed semifinals last year, and just was quite open that his fitness wasn't where it needed to be to advance. And so just after the Open, just expected him to be a bit higher yesterday, or a lot higher yesterday.
I've Christoph Horvath is now in the top 60. He's in 57th. I do not see Zach George.
44th.
Okay. When you're looking through
So
all
he
these
was
names fast.
He's sixth. He got sixth in the lift.
Was it David Schunke?
Yeah, he was 125 range. He had a shoulder issue last year in the Open that had to miss, because he was at the 2020 games in the online qualifier. Doesn't look like he made a big jump today, unless I scrolled past him. He did not submit workouts today. So yeah, hopefully he's all right with the shoulder.
Oceania, Ricky Garrard now in first place. Royce Dunn in 14th. And they just get 30, right?
Yeah, they're top 30. It wasn't really too concerned about Royce Dunn, knowing that the total was coming today. Yet Newberry made the jump up to 21st, so it looks like all the big names.
Yeah, Royce
there.
was 11th. 1,036 pounds. Ricky was 4th. 1,048.
All these guys are over 1,000 pounds. It's just crazy.
And on the women's side, shocker. Tia Claire Toomey 1, Laura Saunders 2, Ellie Turner 3, Maddie Sturt 4, Jamie Simmons 5. That is such a stacked region for 3 spots.
Yes. Yeah, I don't. It's so tough to think. Depending on how the top 3 finish, you got to think Tia's up there and Kara is 2, just based off of this. But to see between Turner and Simmons and Sturt, and if Clifton goes individual as well, you got 4 past game athletes sitting there for 1 spot, and just depending on what the competition, you could easily see 2 of these women end up qualifying through last chance qualifier. So I think Sturt was 3rd last year in last chance qualifier.
Yeah.
So
that is crazy.
You got to feel for them, to have that level of competition, because you got not just 4 or 5 potential game athletes, but 4 or 5 top 20 game athletes.
And if we look in Asia, I am not that familiar with the women's side.
Yeah, I can't say her first name, but Choi, she was the games athlete last year from Asia. So yeah, she's on top of the leaderboard there. So good for her.
And Roman is leading on the men's side with a 2nd and a 6th today.
Oh man, second and sixth. He's got some rowing tomorrow, which he excels at. So expect him to finish up. And should be interesting between him and Illan in semifinals.
Yeah, I don't think it hurts him that he gets to work out with Mayhem every day now.
Yeah.
And
you can't think of a better landing spot for the guy to, been training on his own and being an elite talent to now come over and, train with that group of athletes day in, day out.
South America, Guy is now in first. Guess on the total. Did you look?
I haven't. No. Is it over 1100? 1101.
Dang.
Well, see, Richelme was 22nd in workout 4. Interesting. So, like, both these guys, games athletes. Guy was 14th in workout 3, and Richelme was 17th, which kind of, highlights maybe there's some holes there. Given that South America isn't the deepest field, to see that both those guys finish out of the top 10 in an event is an interesting thing to look at.
Yeah, Guy has a pretty big lead though in a not deep field, so I imagine he'll close it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
Probably go touch and go on those 185-pound snatches.
It's good to see Nicholas Beidart up there as well in third. I don't know, just based off the competition so far, I think he's another guy that just kind of tough luck based off location to only have those 2 spots. It'll be tough for him to unseat either of those top 2 now that he's back as an individual.
And we have 2 Brazilians tied for first on the women's side. Luisa Marques and Julia Cato. Again, I am not an expert in the South American field.
Yeah, I don't. None of these, or neither of these women are familiar names to me. Although it looks like Marquez was 8th last year at the Brazil CrossFit Championship, and Cato would have been 4th. Looks like 4th at Brazil, and then 26th at Last Chance Qualifier. So she was right on the edge last year for this group.
Well, that's pretty much the leaderboards. I think the overarching thing is everything's kind of leveled out. The cream has risen to the top, and it doesn't look like there's many people around that cut line that we know of at this point.
Yeah, well, I don't know, take a scan, but yeah, definitely when you scroll through it, like the lead athletes are at the top, which is what we would hope for and what we kind of expect at this stage. So as long as they're aiming to get the top, 120 or 60 or 30 to the semifinal, it'll be good for that way.
Yeah, unless there's some, again, these scores are unofficial until CrossFit has reviewed all the videos, and there was some shuffling yesterday, so we could have that again today. But make sure to look out at Fantasy Fitnessing on Instagram. They will have out people who are on the cut line looking tedious or not, and surprises from the week or from the day. So check Dave out with that.
Yeah, we'll get something up later today, just some things that stand out to us once we have a bit more time to adjust the leaderboard and see what happened today.
Awesome. Well, we will see you tomorrow.